We're going to have an inbox look here at this ICM kit, which is the Radar Hunter MiG-29 Ukrainian Fighter with the HARM missiles. It's part of the Brave Ukraine series. Our kit number is 72143. Obviously, it's a 72 scale kit by ICM. I believe the original mold is trumpeter. I haven't been into this. I just took the lid off so I don't have to fumble around with getting the lid off. Sometimes they're on there pretty stiff, so I just took the top piece off, but I have not actually been into the kit yet. So we have our aircraft on here. It's got the digital paint scheme that we can see, and on the side it's giving us like a little blurb there, and on the sides nothing important, and it looks like we're getting at least one aircraft with the digital camouflage. So we will open it up and see what we actually get inside here. You've got the really sturdy, I love ICM's boxings. I love how they do them. The like with the lid, and then their boxes are always very sturdy. They're really well done. So we'll open it up here, and you can see what we get. We'll start with the instructions. We'll just kind of go through them, see everything we get. So looks like we've got advertisement for their paints. I have never used their paints, but actually they look pretty good. It looks like they have a pretty good selection of colors already. Like, I know they do certain sets in that, like you can see here, they're advertising the Ghost of Kiev there, like the set for it. So I don't know, their paints seem to be alright, I guess. We'll go into the instructions. I guess we'll, maybe before we do that, it seems like there's quite a few decals. Oh, excellent. Okay, so to start off with, it looks like we've got stencil data here, I'm assuming for the missiles, and you can see they're pretty well done. I mean, typical ICM. I've never had any problems with their decals, and the decal sheet is from the Ghost of Kiev, so I guess it's just obviously you can make any aircraft. It's just a fictitious thing anyway, so you can make any aircraft you want out of this, but it is the same as their Ghost of Kiev release, so that's in there, and they're really nice, well done, bright colors. There's nothing to complain about there. Yeah, so we've got a whole set of they're not stencils, but they're just decal, which is pretty decent. So you're getting, that's a huge bonus, because that's quite a bit of money right there. So you can see the colors and everything. They look pretty crisp, and it looks like there's almost no carrier film on them. I'm not sure if it'll show up on camera. I'll try and see if I can get the reflections on there, but there is very minimal carrier film on them. It looks pretty good for if you want to actually use these in your build. And we'll go through the pretty small instructions. There's our little wax paper there, but it gives you some information, more historical information on the HARM missiles and things, and we got I guess it's just a one-page fold-out. So there's some crossover parts here that you won't be using, and our build starts with our landing gear, and then you've got a upper and lower, and I guess there's no cone, nose cone on there, which is a little bit different. I mean, I don't know if I like that or not. I'll have to see when we look at the plastic. And then you're going right into your main parts there with the pylons and everything, and our HARM missile and everything at the top there, and our burner cans. We'll look at the back. Then we've got our paint guide here for I guess it's just one aircraft, so you could probably put any number on there that you really wanted to. I don't know if this aircraft is one that specifically had the HARM missile, if they have pictures of this aircraft with the HARM missile on it. I don't know if it's actually historically accurate, but you could obviously change the numbers if you know of a different aircraft. So it looks pretty basic, pretty pretty simple there. and we will have a look. Sorry for the bag crinkling, but I mean, there's not really much I can do about it. We'll get it out here. There's not a whole lot of parts to this one. Like it's, we'll just look at the glass first. You can see there's no seam line or anything. They don't look incredibly crystal clear, but you know, like an older MiG-29 in that, I don't think you would get that clear of glass on them. Actually, some of them look quite beat up in that, so it does look like it'd be pretty easy to mask this thing off, though. You might need one for the front, but I mean, it looks pretty simple. So there's the glass, and we'll look at our part. They're pretty nice. There's a little bit of flash. I can see there's a little bit of flash on the molds because this is not their mold. So, but we can see the details are all recessed on there. They look pretty decent. Like it's very basic kit. You know, there's no like slats or flaps movement or anything. And here's our intake, and I'm guessing there would be detail in here for the, is that, I think it is part of the wheel well. There might be more detail in there. I'm not really a huge expert on the MiG-29 or anything, but you can see the rivet detail in this piece here. And our ejection seat, I mean, it's passable for a K-36 ejection seat. At least they molded the little belts and stuff on there, because you're not really going to hardly see anything in there. It probably represents pretty good the K-36 seat. Of course, you can always replace that if you want to get a resin seat or whatever. And then here's our like how our pylons go on and everything. If you didn't want the pylons, it would be pretty simple to plug those holes up. So you have a better look there, and they give you a decal there for the instruments, but it looks like you do have the actual instruments in there. And same with the buttons and things in the cockpit there. And the inside of the landing gear, like, it's all well detailed. So we will move on to the next bit, which they were telling us not to use, like the fuel tanks and that, but I mean, if you wanted to, I don't see why you couldn't, unless they occupy the position where the harm missile goes or something like that. But the fuel tanks look really nice, and our wheels look okay. So here's our center line tank, and our pylons are pretty decent looking pylons, and our various missiles here. The missiles might be a little bit off. You might want to upgrade those if you are going to use these. And then I think these are AA-11 missiles. I'm not exactly sure, but actually those ones look nice. And those are the more modern missiles, so they look alright actually. And actually we'll look at the landing gear. Very delicate, nice landing gear. I'll flip it around. You can see there. And we will move on. So you've got a duplicate sprue here. And this, I'm not sure what the difference is. I've seen the way the fins are on the front of those, I think they're AA-11s. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. They're shaped differently, and I don't know what it means, because you've obviously got both types now. You've got the old one, and then you've got this one here. So I don't know why they're shaped like that. Here's our harm missile, and it actually looks really good. And I like that they've already got the fins on there, like in position, because you know, that saves you a lot of alignment problems and everything. And here's the actual piece there, that special piece that you need. Like, I know there's resin sets in that, you know, for that missile, but I think this is pretty excellent. You can see the detail there. Even the missile itself looks, you know, as the important piece, it looks really good actually. I would not be, like, I mean, I would use that. I wouldn't be searching out a resin piece. Like, it's actually very good. And this is just a duplicate, and then we have our, like, upper piece. I don't know, I would have to build it to know whether I like this or not for the nose cone. I don't like when they do that. It generally, the nose cone should always be separate, because it's where you put your weights and stuff if you have to. I don't know why they molded it like that. Like, what was the idea behind them doing that? But they did. which is not a criticism on ICM, because I don't think this is ICM's. I think it is the trumpeter kit. I'll have to make sure, like, I'll put in the description if I'm wrong, if this isn't the trumpeter kit. If it is the ICM, like, proprietary, then you know, I'll put it in the description. But you can see our little like flaps there are all open, so you don't have the choice to close them. It's not a big deal. I think they are open like that when they're on the ground. Like, I think they're just loose or something. You can see our detail over the engines there. I guess the air brake won't open. I don't know why people like having them open anyways, but so there is landing gear detail on here. They're pretty, like, it's pretty shallow, but it is there. Our engines. The engines, they could probably definitely use an upgrade. They're, like, I would say pretty basic. So here's our burner cans. I mean, it looks all right. Like, it looks like it's a pretty simple, fast build, but it will actually look pretty nice, and you get the decals to do it the proper version that's in here. And you know, it saves you a lot of headache by having those like the decals for this thing. So I would say this is probably good for any skill level of modeler, like even if you're just an entry level, because you're getting so much with this and you can actually make it look like a decent kit. So this is the ICM Radar Hunter MiG-29 with the harm missile, and it looks like a pretty decent kit. So thank you for watching.